Hello, so in this video what we're going to do is we're going to differentiate the cot function, so cot of x with respect to x. And as a reminder, so cos of x is just defined as 1 over tan of x. So 1 over tan of x is exactly the same as cos of x. And so in this video we're going to differentiate cos of x. So when we do this, again, similar to the previous two videos where we differentiated cosec and sec. Sorry, that should be an x there if we're working in the variable x. So we're going to differentiate cot. And this is exactly the same as differentiating tan of x, sorry, 1 over tan of x. And 1 over tan of x is actually exactly the same as cos over sine. So we know that tan is just sine over cos, and so 1 over sine over cos is exactly the same as cos over sine. So that's what we know. So we've got a quotient of two functions. We're dividing two functions. So again, we can use our quotient rule. So when we differentiate a function f over a non-zero function g, we get this. So we get the derivative of f times g, subtract the derivative of g by f, all divided by the g squared. Okay, cool. So again, we're going to use that formula to help us out with this this derivative. So what we're going to do then is we're going to correspond the f with the cos. So we know that f of x is cos, and so from that we know that the derivative of cos from a previous video, we know that's going to be negative sine. We're going to correspond the g with the sine because sine is on the denominator of the quotient, and the derivative of g is going to be cos because again we know that differentiating sine gives cos, and when we do g squared, that's just going to be sine squared. Okay, perfect. So now we can just plug in all of those values into the formula. So we've got negative sine of x for the derivative of f, multiplied by g of x, which is just sine of x itself. And then we're going to subtract the derivative of g, which is cos of x, multiplied by f, and f is cos of x. So that's going to be like our numerator. And then the denominator is g squared, so sine squared. Perfect, yeah. And then what we've got then on the top, just by simplifying the numerator, so we've got negative sine squared of x, then a negative cos squared of x, all over sine squared. So what we should know then from trigonometric identities is that sine squared plus cos squared is 1. So we can actually just factor out the negative 1 from here, or the negative sign. So on the top, we've got sine squared plus cos squared. And as I just said, so this numerator is actually just going to be a negative 1 because sine squared of x plus cos squared of x is just the number 1. So we're going to get a negative and then 1, because this all just goes to 1 inside that. And then that's divided by sine squared. And again, we know by definition that 1 over sine of x is defined as cosec of x. So 1 over sine squared is just cosec squared. So this is actually just negative cosec squared of x. And so what we've shown them is that when we differentiate cot of x, cos of x with respect to x, we get negative cosec squared of x. And that's the result from this video.